Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's actually still dark out, so I'm assuming it's beautiful out there. But we're here after week 29 of our 52-week challenge to save 1,000 pounds from going into the landfill. And that 1,000 pounds is going to go back into my garden. And so far, it has been working beautifully. So, just to do a quick review of all the things that you can add to your compost pile, if you so choose to take up this challenge with me, is I just laid out a few things. And just a reminder, I've had, everybody that has stuck with me for 28 weeks so far pretty much could recite the whole thing. But it's basically all of my paper products that I've been using and saving, both shredded cardboard and shredded paper. My paper clumps a bit, so I try to mix it in with the cardboard, and that seems to really work. I do occasionally grind up one of my bags and put that in with it. Even though it's not cardboard, it seems to work quite well. We've gone to electronic newspapers, so just about the only thing that we get are little flyers that we get from the grocery store. And our friend Sandra over at Nana's Worms and Garden mentioned that she actually puts in her seed packets. And I thought, well, that's great because we both have worms, we both have red wigglers, and so that acts as a great food source for them as well. But if you only have a compost pile, or if you have a compost pile, not only, but you could use that in there also. Toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, popsicle sticks, cork. I've told you about cork. It comes from a cork tree. If it came from a tree, it can go back into the soil. Um, any of your juices, any of your liquids that I don't weigh this. This is just a plus. If you bake potatoes, you have potato water. If you haven't added salt to it, take that water and use it in your garden. If you soak beans overnight and you're soaking them to how do I want to say it? From what I've heard is if you soak the beans a couple times, they are less musical for those of us who eat them. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The flatulence is the gases are released. So anyway, add that into your soil, and that way the bacteria and microbes can do their thing. Anyway, any of your pasta water, if you don't add salt to it, you can use that as well. Any of your canned vegetables, if you're tossing that water out, you drain it, and if it comes with no extra salt, use that. I mean, that's really good on your plants. All of my juice ends of it that I don't really count and weight, but I add it to my watering can, and then I add that to my plants. And I mean, I have really noticed a difference on how perky everybody is. So that kind of takes care of that end of it. I'm a gardener, and I like to bring flowers into the house, and this is my bougainvillea that you guys have seen me do many videos on, and it's out in my driveway. I have two big bougainvillea, and occasionally I like to just bring in the blossoms. And they don't hold up very, very well, but they're that paper thin, and but they have spikes on them. I wanted to show you every time I cut this thing back. Can you see that spike? That's a spike. That goes into your finger. It sticks. It really does. But anyway, this can all go into your compost. Usually what I do is I have Rick put it through the lawnmower when he's mowing, and then he'll take everything and he'll lay it back out on the grass and he'll mow it again. And the second time, it's like all the liquids, all the juices from the leaves are released, and it makes it looks almost like leaf mulch. I'm sorry, leaf mold. Where it's sticking itself together. I lay that on top of cardboard, and that really deters the weeds. So, anything else you have? Your coffee grounds. These are the coffee grounds, and these are my tea bags that I emptied. You can see the difference in the color, but there's my tea bags, and I also where's my little divider? Did I put my divider in there? Oh, there. Oops, there it is. I always save things like this. I mean, if you're still reading books, it makes a great bookmark. If you're filing something, old school, it makes great dividers. So you can always find uses for extra uses for things. My banana peels. One, you can soak these, and they will leach out. They will leach out potassium. So if you have your bloomers, remember it's shoots, nitrogen, roots, phosphorus, nuts and fruits. So it's or flowers. So NPK. So this would be your K, your potassium. And so whether you have fruit trees or flower trees or nut trees, if you soak the banana peels, you can use that in your rainwater, or if you have water that has chlorine in it, let it sit out for 24 hours. Anyway, I feed these to my worms. I make a little plates for them and put more fruit in there, and then they come up and they eat everything, and they take care of it. They turn it into black gold. It's beautiful. This stuff, Jane at Rock and Worms turned me on to dehydrating a lot of my fruit if I get an overload, which sometimes I do. I'm not as good as some of the people who are actually running businesses, but this is a banana peel that's been dehydrated, and then I put it through my pulverizer and my NutriBullet, and it grinds it into a powder, and I can just powder that on. So and then any of my if you have anything stale in your pantry, Cheerios, I'm sorry, cereal or crackers, or if you have cornmeal or flour back there hiding, any of those things are great to put in your worm bin, good to put in your compost, and things that you can save to add to your recycling. So hang on a sec. Hello again. Okay, here I am. And I just wanted to come back and finish this up. We'll make it real short this week. This is week 29. And our friend Brian, I said, you guys are getting to know Brian, aren't you? He brought just a bag of grass that was over 34 pounds. And our grass was almost 11 pounds. So that was really a good week. We came out week 29 with 53 pounds, 1.9 ounces, and that brings our total up to 891 pounds, 8.4 ounces. Good job. Thank you, Brian. So we probably only have maybe another 3 weeks before we hit our 1,000. And Nick in the garden, a great channel. If you, he's really cooking well this summer. All his stuff's coming out. Anyway, his suggestion was that I should have a contest and say, guess when I'll hit the 1,000 mark. And I said, well, I, he said, just for bragging rights, just for the fun of it. And I thought, okay, well, if anybody wants to pick a date, I mean, I actually do go day for day on what I'm recycling. So I actually could pinpoint real close to that 1,000 mark versus once a week. So if anybody wants to put in their entry and give me a date, I'll make a little calendar, make a little list as to who says what. So that was it for the week. I think we're getting real close. And somebody asked if I was going to quit after 1,000, and I said no. I committed to 52 weeks, and that's what I'm going to go with. And maybe another contest would be to say what poundage you think I'll hit on December 30th, and that would be something else to think about. So anyway, that was it. I don't think I have anything else to tell you. You already know what to do. Go out and save the world. One cereal box at a time, or one. I see shows with people talking about their landfills and things, and I think, wow, if we could just get this down. There's a company called O-Town. Orlando starts with an O. O-Town Compost, and they started out with one bicycle and a couple neighbors who would save their scraps and food and such, and they put it in like a 5-gallon bucket with a lid, and they were picking it up once every couple weeks, and they were taking it back to some spot that they had, and they were starting a compost pile. And then neighbors told each other, and 2 neighbors became 20 neighbors. And so that bicycle got a little attachment on the back of it. And then 20 neighbors became 200 neighbors, and now they had to have more bicycles. And they keep having, they go to different things, like if you have a marathon and local grocers want their name out there. We're Publix is our big thing. So they'll have bananas or fruit, and right alongside O-Town Compost has their little banner with their little tent and the stickers and what have you, and they say, leave us your banana peels, leave us your apple cores, whatever you're throwing away, leave your plastic water bottles. Now they don't compost that, but they'll go ahead and recycle it for you. And so it gets people thinking about the circle, and the circle is that whatever you have, you recycle it. And last week they put out on Instagram, and you can look them up, O-Town Compost. They've gotten much bigger. I mean, now they have trucks that they drive around and pick up people's trash twice a month, and you pay them to take your stuff away, even though it's part of being, I guess, a good citizen, and you can see the good of it. And then in return, I think a couple times a year they bring you a bag of their black gold, their compost, and at no charge above what you're already paying. I think that's, that it's giving you something back, as well as a good attaboy, we're doing something good. But they had a picture of what it costs now to drop a ton at the local dump site, and it was something like I think it was $34 per ton, 2,000 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilos. It will be under 1,000. But $34 a ton. Well, you think of the trash cans that I walk by every morning. On Tuesday mornings, we have our trash pickup, and I see that, and I think, I'll bet you've got 30, 40 pounds of trash in your bin just packed in there. And nobody, thinks about squashing it down. So it's all this size and all this weight, and that trash man goes from house to house to house. I mean, just on our small little street, you've got, I think there's 12 on each side, so 24. If our trash weighs 45 pounds in a week, I would be surprised. But I'm exceptional, and I don't mean that like, oh, pump me up or anything. But no, I mean, we really do. And I walk by people who have big trash cans. We downsized and went for a smaller one so that it would fit in our garage. But they have big trash cans, and they end up putting trash in both that and the recycling, which screws up the whole system. But anyway, so work with the system, don't work against the system, I guess is all I'm saying. So I didn't mean, again, I'm on the soapbox, I'm so sorry. But I hope everybody has a great day, and I hope you have a great week ahead. And I hope you'll think of us on July 27th of this year, which is Thursday. Rick and I are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary. We haven't killed each other yet, but there's plans. So anyway, I will be back here next Sunday to tell you how it all went, unless we kill each other. So just kidding. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Remember, garden what you've got, and I love you guys. You're just wonderful. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you back real soon. Bye-bye.